just recently found out that my first partner and him are somehow related.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
Do you
ugly.
do you give me consent to record our conversation? Would that be
Yes,
okay?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So tell me about your targeting. I mean, I know that you were in relations with veterans and stuff like that, and how was it to be a partner of a veterans that's being targeted? How long have you been targeted?
Well, my overt targeting didn't, go overt, or so my I would want to say that my whole life had always been, I always said, oh, I could write a book, I could write a country western trilogy album. I'm a bad luck schlep rock. It was always a roller coaster, but throughout the whole my life, I always just still had the attitude of you're never fully dressed unless you're wearing a smile. I was always bubbly and happy and bright. That's how I always looked at myself. And then, you know, things were happening, I guess, I mean, always, but, like I said, the 2000, things were happening. And I believe, like my spouse was always, always like instigate. Now I look back, and he was manipulating and instigating friends and family, not just my spouse, but mainly my spouse, because you know he's your partner. But so my targeting didn't go over till roughly, it was 2018 when I left my house, and at that time I had custody of three of my grandchildren. I had had them already almost 10 years, and we went to a domestic abuse shelter because I didn't know what was going on. I felt like we were being knocked out at night. I was trying to record while I was sleeping. A lot of stuff had been going on. So at that point, I went to a domestic abuse shelter, and I told them what was happening, and they said, oh, have you ever heard of gaslighting? I had never heard the term gaslighting. So, from there, at the domestic abuse shelter, we were being gang stalked, but I didn't still know the word gang stalking, all the tactics, the noise campaigns, and the gaslighting from the staff, and all kinds of stuff. Well, we weren't at the shelter too long. I got us into an apartment building, and that's when I learned gang stalking. That's when the gang stalking just went shebang. I remember going to the store with my grandkids, and I put a note on a lady's car like, "Why are you following us?" So I was thinking, is social services watching me? What is happening? I didn't know.
I want to stop you for just a minute because I didn't quite. Can you just tell me what your full? What, give me just give me your name. Your name again. I'm sorry.
So my name is Lisa Davis.
Okay.
And I'm 63 years old, and I live in Duluth, Minnesota.
Duluth, Minnesota. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Minnesota is pretty popular because of the work of Governor Jesse Ventura.
Well, it's interesting because I believe that Jesse. So I have found So I do what's called social mapping, and I've coined it social mapping. So I have a hidden mesh network in my environment here. Maybe I can. I don't know if you can bring up.
You're familiar with Governor Jesse Ventura, right, and his work on targeted individuals.
Right. Well, I have a picture of Jesse. He came to my town in the 80s to a bar that we, all used to hang out at, and he played in his band. He was in like a band called the White Snakes.
Yeah.
Bill from him playing at the bar, and I believe that politicians are involved, or know about this targeting is all about my personal. I believe that it has a lot to do with it's research experimentation. I call it modernized clandestine MK Ultra.
Yes.
They Bill Gates patented a technology, Microsoft W2020 060606, mining the human body for cryptocurrency. Or as John McAfee quoted saying, they're using humans who have been shipped as miners. I shit you not, that's his exact quote. And, Jesse Ventura is good friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And when I was in the 7th grade, leaving the elementary school to go to the middle school, instead of going to the middle school, they diverted a group of us to the University of Wisconsin Superior's campus. And it never made any sense, but of course, I was just a child, so I had no idea about it. But now it matches, and Jesse Ventura was on campus at that time. And I believe that it had to do with I honestly believe it had to do with me. Because I have found lots of my teachers in my targeting. So, it just all kind of goes and makes sense. Not only that, but supposedly Arnold Schwarzenegger bought a house here up on Highway 61 here in between Duluth, Minnesota, and up the shore. And in the early 90s, I was working for a blacktop company, and we paved his driveway. And and then just some other things throughout my life. Later, 10 years later, I was working for the city of Duluth. I worked for our sanitary district, which is a government job. Actually, your sanitary district is a government entity. And I believe this is all, it's all orchestrated and manipulated. I was a group of us from the sanitary district were given awards at a big to-do down in the cities. So it was like a big banquet, and I was given this award by Governor Palenti, who is actually now, he's a big financial something, sits at some financial roundtable if you Google him. So my guess is at the time Jesse Ventura was probably in the audience, and I believe that a lot of the time these people, they want to see who they're invested in, and so I believe that was an orchestration to have me, people may see who they're investing in. I don't know, but I believe that it all goes together, So then Jesse Ventura did that interview with Dr. Robert Duncan, and here I'm gonna. So I was, like I said, I have a hidden mesh network in my environment. Let's see. I can. So I have. So what a hidden mesh network is they've got antennas and beacons, transmitters, receivers hidden throughout my house and my property. Of course, throughout your neighborhood, and just even along the roadsides, because this is how they're making money. And when I have these beacons coming in, I can see where they're coming from. And so then I will do a research. So here, let's see, I got some up. I don't know if I can show you this. Let's see. Well, I guess I would just maybe have you bring up my Twitter feed, but
Okay.
so.
Well, I'll bring up your Twitter feed.
I had a beacon coming in yesterday on this infrasound detector.
I can bring up your Twitter feed. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll do that. Here, let's see. Where are you at?
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was going to bring up your Twitter feed.
What happened?
Let's see. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Okay, hold on.
Can't hear you.
Hold on just a minute. Let me see here. Okay. Here we go.
There we go.
So I'll bring up your Twitter feed here. Okay.
Okay. So
okay.
And I actually just posted one of them last night.
What is your handle?
It's Lisa K Junker. LISA letter K JUNKER. So yeah, actually it's the very last post that I put up yesterday.
Okay.
So this is what it says. It says 1011 14th Avenue, Green Bay, Wisconsin residents intrude my environment with so they had two actually beacons, lethal infrasound system, and they connected, so you can bring that address up in like a people search. And then I look to see who lives there, and then it shows me where else they lived, who they're related to, all kinds of information. Well, one of the people actually two, lived previously also at a Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota address. So then I click on that address and then see that someone at that address lived here in Duluth, Minnesota. And then from there, it just went to, people throughout, Superior. So I grew up in Superior, Wisconsin, which is across just the bridge. We're sister cities, and I spent my first 30 years over there.
Wow.
And so a lot of my people that come up in this social mapping and they actually live around me are people that I was introduced when I was only, and I have a picture of that on my social media, I was befriended by the University of Wisconsin Superior's chancellor's daughter when I was just, sixth or seventh grade, and she started taking me out to her. They had a cabin, a lake place that was a good hour away from town, kind of roughly an hour from town. And all of those people are a lot of who are, I believe, invested in targeting me. And so what they do, I believe, is that targeting is your community members and business owners, and they're out to, you've been not, I believe I was probably not consensually chipped at an early age, and they invest in you like the stock market, and a lot of the people that I've been finding too are like my mom. My mom's best friends were all bar owners, so they had my mom in the bar at an early age. So I was the youngest of five, and pretty much brought up myself. My dad divorced I believe my dad actually was my mom's. I believe we're generational. My dad was my mom's handler. I believe they took out my dad, though. He had, Lyme's disease and West Nile virus. He was in the Korean War in supposedly the 196 intelligent regiment out of Alaska, which I find a lot of people in my social routing that are up in Alaska too, especially a town called Wasilla.
Yeah, most of the targeted individuals that I've talked to so far are all either former military or had family in the military. Yeah, they're being victimized and targeted. Is this markings from the microwave or direct energy weapons here? Did I see?
That was just yesterday. Yep,
Wow.
that was taken yesterday. I think at about 7 p.m. That hurt like a bugger too. The exact was something that leaves those marks. I'm echoing.
Okay, yeah, you're probably being wiretapped, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
these are markings of engravings in your flesh, correct?
It's burn whip, laser. I don't know what weapon they use, but that I get that frequently.
Yeah, and I have the same thing too. My leg is being whacked at with the same frequency. My clothes have holes in them too, just like that too.
That's my pajamas. I wake up like that. I actually, you can see that I literally had them all sewed up.
Okay.
And now they're going to town again.
Wow.
So when they knock you out at night with radio frequency, they do stuff to you.
Yes. Yes.
I wake up with shaved hair, cut and shaved hair, eyebrows. They dye my hair.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Yep.
And then look at that. So this was all yesterday. Pictures from real time yesterday. So there's my infrasound detector, and that's the six there is New Mexico Military Training Center.
That's
And then there was one at my house even.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Upper right corner is my house. That Steffi there. So
okay.
That's my house, and I got a beacon there.
Okay.
So I think that either somebody militaries either float on my property, or, I have a garage that has like it's called an artist loft, so they could be up there and wouldn't know it.
Wow.
But, so then in the second row, first picture, you can see that all the beacons and stuff coming into my environment.
Okay.
See that Steffi there? He lives directly north, about a block away, and I did an investigation on him. So if you zoom out, and it's the, right next door to it, the next picture. So see, so he lives up, I found out that he lives like a block away, that 28, what is it?
28.
16 or 22.
Hagberg.
So his name is Mike Steffi, and he's military, and he's right now a contractor for General Dynamics. And so when I first started learning these network applications, it's hard to talk when you hear that echo. The bottom corner is I was using an application that it was a visual trace route of who I was like connected to, and it went to the chief information officer's house. He worked for the Department of Homeland Security. Literally, the trace route showed me a line. You can see that in the picture, and then he routed to China South Bank and back to the Department of Defense. And I found out doing research that they lived together. So that Bo Fleming that I wrote to from the Department of Homeland Security lived with this Michael Steffi. And then I thought it interesting that Bo Fleming's mom's maiden, or her name is Davis. And my married name is Davis. And then I was the next pictures, my house was shaking, and at first I thought it was somebody's snow blowing.
Is this your house right here?
Yeah, that's a picture of my house. I have a new sign. That was my old sign. I built a new sign this morning.
Nice.
That's my little sign. So I started out with just a little, 2x2 little sign, and then I graduated up to that sign, and I built a new sign this summer.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You have the freedom of speech.
Yeah, well, and I don't know, it's fun to be able to change up, so it's a whiteboard, and I slide them in and out. So, like October was Cyber Torture Awareness Month, or Justice Month, and that's what I have up now. I need to change it, but I've had nice, scriptures on there, or all different kinds of stuff. Whatever I feel like. Wi-Fi doesn't wander, because I've been being bombarded with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth devices and mobile cell networks, which I believe that the people in your neighborhoods, a lot of them are intentionally moved here. Like I have a guy that lives across the street that is already immediately in my environment. The neighbor next door, he didn't even unpack his U-Haul and had devices in my environment.
So I wanted to ask, this is, you mentioned Wiggle War, that application?
Yes.
So how do we use this? How am I going to use Wiggle War to help me navigate who is targeting me?
Okay, so is that your account? Did you make an account?
Yeah, that's my account.
Okay, so now you click on the red one.
Do I need to put my location on?
Well, if you want to see your location, here, let's see, where's my cell phone?
Here.
So here's my current situation.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll just go to here. I'll put it on my laptop. I'll go to it. Wiggle. Okay, it'll ask you to log in, sign in. Hit, I'm not a robot. Sign in. So then you go to view.
Okay, view. Basic
search.
Okay.
Okay, so then it gives you a little search box and the address.
Okay.
So let's put mine in 28.
Under
22.
under which we're at under
In that search box right here.
okay, I'll tell okay, okay, what do you put there?
Let's put my address so
Okay.
we'll use that as a for instance.
Okay, go ahead.
2822 Harvey Street. And then Duluth, Minnesota.
Harvey Street.
And it should be even come up in that little
Duluth
box.
is spelled
Duluth. And it should probably come up in that box.
Duluth, DUL.
Duluth.
There it is.
See it's right there.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so now see the legend on the left is you might be on Wi-Fi right now.
Right.
So does it show you? See, let's see. Yours doesn't look.
Mine says cell or BT or Wi-Fi.
Okay, so do you have it on
Wi-Fi?
So put it on Bluetooth once.
Okay.
Click Bluetooth.
All right.
And it might take a minute to populate.
It's there. It's there.
No, but it should be. Mine isn't populating like it normally is either, so that's interesting. Let's see what's happening here. Huh. Oh, yours is starting to. Mine isn't yet. So see my house. Go back over. That little thing is not in the right place. See, there's my house with the.
Okay.
It's coming. Oh, here's mine. Mine came up. There we go. See my house?
Okay.
It's not that red note. It's that big blob.
Oh, okay.
That's my house.
Okay.
So if you zoom out, then it'll turn red. Or I'm sorry. Zoom in. On that bright colored spot there.
Well, it's not letting me do it.
That's all Bluetooth devices swamping my environment.
Okay. Wow.
Right, and it'll turn red because then if you zoom even closer, yeah. Let's see if I can. See, that's what it looks like when you zoom in, and you can even zoom out further. And it sometimes will show you, I don't know why your pin is not on my house. 2822, that's over on the corner there. Oh, see, so here, yeah. So it shows you literally, let's see, all the MAC addresses. Those are all Bluetooth devices being, put into my environment.
Yeah, wow.
And so then you can see them going down the street, and that proves the gang stalking in a way, or well, not necessarily, but kind of.
Okay. So I'm right here now. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, you're not. You need to get back over to that spot by my house.
This is your street, right? Harvey Street, or?
Yeah, but I'm the blob down to your left or right. I'm not sure here why the pin is not on 2822 Harvey Street. Did you put 2822 Harvey Street?
Yep. And you said the blob is where?
To your, not that way, the other way. There we go. Keep going that way.
Well, it's.
Yeah, it needs to catch up or something.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
That's my house.
Okay.
There you go. So, and I ended ended up, so when I first discovered this application and discovered my house,
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that, there's more. So one day I was playing with it, zooming in and out, and found a property just like that, 30 miles down the road. And then I ended up playing more and, another one 60 miles down the road.
So what does that color identify? What does that circle identify?
Well, it's a bombardment of Bluetooth devices.
Okay.
So now, if you change it to either Wi-Fi or cell, then it will change. And so the Wi-Fi is a representative of multicolor dots, which they're all different Wi-Fi networks that are being, bombarded into my environment.
Okay.
And so, and then as you zoom, so if you want, go ahead and change your little. The legend and click on Wi-Fi, and then after that we'll click on Bluetooth.
Okay,
on cell.
There's Wi-Fi.
Okay, so if you zoom in, you might need to catch up. Don't zoom in on that pin because that pin is in the wrong spot. Over at my house.
Okay. There you are.
Go. See? So now those are all Wi-Fi devices that are being bombarded into my house.
Wow.
So, I use the saying, death by Wi-Fi easier than using a bullet, lucrative if you have an identity fraud.
Okay.
So those are all Wi-Fi devices that are in my environment because there's some kind of hidden.
Ooh, man! Wow.
Right. Okay. Now we can do it again, and you can change it to cellular. Yeah.
Tessa's iPhone. Wow.
Yeah, I have no idea who.
Rookie's Roxy's iPhone. Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty awful. And that's all emitting, radio frequency.
Duluth. There's
There's
your house here.
That's radiation in my environment.
So you're being gang stalked. That's what you're trying to say with this here?
Well, it's not only that, but I have, non-consensually somebody put a hidden mesh network, in my environment.
In your environment. Okay.
And, then I believe that I was non-consensually implanted, and so they're hooking up to my wireless body area network, and they're making money off of those devices. So I can take all of those have MAC addresses, and I can take that MAC address, I can put it in a search engine,
Okay.
and I can find out, who's
Let's do that. You want to do that? Let's do that. Let's see if we can do that.
Okay, well here, I want to have you go to the Bluetooth, cellular. So click on cellular ones, because that's really important.
Okay, cellular, okay, this, cell towers?
Yep.
Okay.
See all those? Those are all mobile cell towers in my environment right now.
Okay.
See that?
Wow.
And so if you zoom out, you can see which neighbors have them too.
Okay, let's see here.
So my neighbor next door should have at least 3 or 4. See 28 to the, it's to the left of me, so would that be the right of you? See?
Okay, AT&T Mobility, okay.
Yeah, so they're 18. So right now in my environment, I've got a couple dozen maybe, and they're AT&T, mostly AT&T. There's T-Mobile, there's a Sprint, T-Mobile, Sprint, and there's actually some Verizons too. I don't see them on
So
there.
how do I link that up to someone's identity now? You say look at the MAC address. What am I going to do to look up a MAC address?
Okay, so the mobile cell towers don't have MAC addresses, but the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi do. So if you want to go back to my Twitter feed, let's go there once, and I'll show you an example, and I'll walk you through that. So go to my profile. Let's see, I'll page down how many? 1, 2, 3. Let's see. The fourth one is an example, but not of.
Which day was that? Second day?
Let's see. How about let's go to let's go to December 15th. I think, did you go too far?
December 15th. Let's see here. That's the fifth day. Fifth day.
It's, let's see. No, let's see. It's right there.
Right here? Okay.
No. Actually, I think you haven't gone far enough. Keep going a couple more. There we go. Keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. Okay, keep going. It's that one right there with the blue squares.
Okay.
Okay, so what I wrote, so I don't pay for an extended, so I only have so many characters to get my point across, but I put what victims are dealing with are non-consensual body area networks, which are incorporated into existing mesh networks, bolstered by beacon antenna transmitter receivers placed and hidden in your environment. So if you zoom in, you can see that, I've got over 1,000 devices in my environment. You can see that, the yellow lines indicate, the connections from beacons
Wow.
and antennas.
Wow.
And so then the wiggle itself, the network list, shows you what's coming in. And so I clicked on so I'll give you an example. You can see, actually, like in the first map or the first square, see there's a MAC address, a beacon coming from miles away. Do you see that in the first square? So that's kind of important to note. So see it's way up there?
Okay.
And so I took one of those Wi-Fi's that were coming in. So see all those little entries on the third block are showing me, the wiggle shows you networks that are coming into your environment.
Okay.
So I picked the Spectrum Mobile because one thing about the Spectrum Mobile, if you look at that second row down, second square right there, see how it's showing me that 97 observations, and see where that very top one is actually where that 70 is.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Right.
So I was able to I took that 70 and first I searched it in a MAC address lookup, which is the first row, fourth box. And you put the address in a MAC search, and it told me that there was no information found on it. A lot of times it'll tell you, it was owned by, Nemo, it was a Nemo device, or it's a Sage, let's see what's on there. A Belkin device, it's a, Ask Me device, an IBM, whatever. So anyway, so then I was able to take that MAC address and I put it in a search engine called Shodan. So that's the top row, very last one on the corner there, and it showed me. So you can populate them.
This one here. This one here.
Yes. So you can see that I actually first I put it in forward, and it didn't show me any. It might have even had. It could have been that it had like say 60. The number could have been 60. Matches, but you can put it in reverse because they are using a masking system. So what's the
search engine you use?
It's called Shodan.
And do you have that on?
You can just get it on your browser on your internet.
Okay.
And so they use everything in forward and backwards. They are using a masking system. So when you populate it backward, it sometimes narrows the search down. So I narrowed it down to only two global matches for that device, and they were going to. Then the next square on the first row tells me that it was France and. Who was that?
This one right here. This one right here. This app.
Yeah, that's it.
So give me so I can search this, right?
Well, you might have to make it. Well, you don't have to make an account, I don't think, right away or whatever. But You get so many free searches, and then I think you need to make an account and log in, and they'll
Okay.
ask you to log in. But you
Okay.
can take a MAC address. Yep, here, if we want, we could do one. I could take one live off my phone right now.
Okay.
Do it. Here, I'll give you a MAC address of a device that's in my environment right now.
Okay.
Let me look here. I'm being bombarded with, so they're using an Ellie Bose sound system, and they're coming in nonstop. So, they're harming you with sound. So I have untold numbers of ones coming in. Let's see, which one should I pick here? Let's just pick. There's so many. How about? So again, you don't want me to finish explaining the screen at all?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Let me just log in here, create an account here. Okay. I created an account, so we're good. Let me so I'm with you on the same sheet of music.
You're quick. You're quick.
Well, see if I can log in here. Well, invalid password. Well, why is it invalid? Let's see here.
So I'll just kind of talking while you're setting that up. So I went on to so I first searched that beacon that was like however many miles away.
Okay.
Which showed me that it had two global matches to France and you can't see.
Okay.
It was the United Kingdom.
Okay.
And so then the device that was going to that beacon, one of them, because there was more than one, I searched the Spectrum Mobile, and one of the things about Spectrum Mobile, I believe that Spectrum is a weaponized system. A lot of my neighbors or community members have, so in conjunction, generally they have a Spectrum setup. So if I go by and I pick up a node, it's a Spectrum setup and a Spectrum Mobile. So for some reason, they've got the two. But the Spectrum Mobile's capabilities shows you that it's a WPA2
Okay.
SHA.
So I'm now back on your site here. So let's see. Am I looking at the right one here?
Right. So I'm looking at the Spectrum Mobile with all the dots, the second row, second picture right
Okay,
now.
gotcha.
Kind of explaining that
Okay,
the
Spectrum Mobile.
SHA1. So the SHA1, if you let me quick, is an NSA created algorithm. Here, I'm gonna quick bring this up so I can just read exactly. I took a screenshot of my little thing here yesterday in preparation. Hang on. Okay. So this is what, if you Google SHA1, this is what the internet says about it. Here we go. So hash algorithm, well, SHA1, and it actually goes to like 512 or 513. It's SHA. So I have a screenshot of hash algorithm. I Googled SHA 256, and it's used in a Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies for transaction verification and mining.
And which one is that? Which one is that?
Well, that's in relation to the SHA one. So for in that instance right there, it says SHA one. Spectrum Mobile see the capabilities, and it has an SHA one dash CCMP.
Okay.
In the capabilities.
Okay.
So it's telling me that SHA, it was the SHA is an algorithm that the NSA created. And so it tells you that it's used in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies for transaction verification and mining. So that's showing you that they're mining you for cryptocurrency.
I see. Okay.
So yeah.
Wow.
So then
Okay.
I took the Spectrum Mobile MAC address and I put it in the MAC search box, and it didn't come up with any information, which is unusual. Usually Spectrum Mobile is Spectrum setup is Sagecom. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Sagecom, and they are I think a France broadband communication company. But anyway, so putting it in forward, I came up with 81 uh, um, matches, I guess you would say. But when I put it in reverse, it only gave me one. So, and then it was narrowed down to Japan. And then, then it shows you, the open ports. And then if you zoom in on open ports again, it shows you the key algorithm that they're using is the SHA 256. And then, you can look at, it gives you all different information like Prometheus node exporter, and, it'll tell you, I believe so. So previously, I was like, so what? Yeah, the one that says after open port, the next little screenshot tells you, it shows you an E tag number, and I was taking those.
Which one is that on the open SSH? You say?
So it's just the third row, third screenshot over, and it said open.
Resty?
And I believe that. There's more than just that one, but I know for a fact that, see that in that default site, if you read it, if you zoom in, and it says, do you see that E-tag number?
Okay.
So I was taking that E-tag number and I was using a Binance blockchain transaction search engine, and when I entered that into the search engine, it would show me that I had a transaction. So
You said EK, right?
E-tag. See the E-tag line next to the last line on the default site on the bottom there? See that?
I
Says
see.
E-tag.
Oh, E-tag. Okay, I see. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was taking that number and putting it into like Binance, and I have pictures of when I was captured, but they changed the Binance website, and I need to work on that.
Okay.
So I was finding transactions not only in these numbers in Shodan, but I'm just going to finish this square. So you can get a plethora of information by, especially when you can narrow it down to one global match. And then you can also look up the IP, so that it told me that the IP, the one global match was 162.43.36233, and I could put that into an IP info. And again, they work in reverse. So, that told me that it was Japan, and that you could, click on a map and even, right down to the location of where it was coming from. And in reverse, it just told me that it was a bogan, which is a private, a bogan means that it's a private network for special use. But
Okay.
a lot of times it'll be reversed to say, some education department of research in China or something.
Yeah.
Or, it could be Florida. So what is important here too is um, uh, to use these applications in conjunction with one another. So say for instance, going back up to my pinned tweet,
Okay.
I'll
I'm gonna hold on just a minute, because I've got I got a phone call coming in. I got a meeting. I forgot about it. It's a 10 o'clock meeting with a psychiatrist. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna come back to you if you have more time today. Can I come back to you?
Yep.
When can I come back and finish this up?
Just, I don't think I'm planning on leaving the house today at all. Just I generally don't, but it's getting close to the holidays.
Okay.
So I'm gonna and get prepared. So I just don't generally talk when my husband's home.
Yeah, no,
He's not on my team.
okay.
He's not
Okay.
on my team. Let me put it that way.
Well, I would like to finish up our conversation and get into the both of those sources you have, the wiggle, finish up on the wiggle, and then also look into the other one you have, the what is it called, the Vox one?
The red box.
Yeah.
Yes, let me just finish up by saying, yes, so when you use, say, wiggle, and you use another one or two to confirm, it's in conjunction, that they just back each other up.
Okay.
So could say that, I could prove that they're standing by using, other ones, like in my pin tweet, say the WeCap demo, which is a packet sniffer, basically a mobile packet sniffer, showing you, MAC addresses, devices coming into your environment, and I could probably see that 162 that was coming in could have been in that packet sniffer.
Okay.
So that's how they work together to prove that this is all happening, and which is really important.
Okay. And would you would consider that gang stalking, electronically harass,
Well, definitely.
or maybe involuntary servitude? They're selling your information, selling your data.
Yeah, I mean, it works for both gang stalking and again, for me, a non-consensual body area network. I never consented to anybody putting, stealing my intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
They're data mining me. They're, which is a slow kill mission.
Yeah.
And this is a crime. Again, I hashtag a lot modern day human trafficking, modern day slavery, modernized clandestine MK Ultra. This is all about research and development, surveillance, you know, cognitive liberty, and
Right.
geoslavery. It's geoslavery. If you look up the definition of a lot of that word, or metaverse crimes, it's
Yeah, it is. They're all part of it. Well, I'd like to talk more to you. Give me about 30 minutes to an hour, and I'll get right back to you because I have to meet with this lady here today. So,
yes, no problem.
okay. I thank you very much. I'll get back to you soon, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
or need medical records or billing, please press 2. If you are an administrator for a hospital or provider's office, calling from a pharmacy or an insurance company,